What's up, boys and girls? My name is Kiani, and I am a chess player that is rated 1700 over the board, both USCF and FIDE. And my first tournament was in 2019 in college. So if I can improve at the rate I have, you can as well. And these are 5 tips that are going to help you improve your tournament experience. Now, tip number 1 is wear jeans. All of these tips are what to do during a chess tournament. So as far as the preparation beforehand, such as analyzing games, playing, tactics, and things like this, I can make a separate video on how to do those things if you'd like, but all this advice will be during the chess tournament. So tip number 1 is going to be get good rest and eat well during the tournament. No one wants to play a chess tournament after having 0 sleep and having to play games that last anywhere between an hour to potentially 4.5, 5 hours, depending on whether you're playing with sudden death. And of course, eat well. Food will equal your energy. If you are not eating right, you are not going to feel right. I see a lot of players who will come into the tournament hall like with McDonald's breakfast, or go out to eat a burger in between rounds, which is fine if that works for you, sure. For me, I like to make sure that I eat a healthy breakfast. I get some caffeine in me, obviously, and if it's an early round in the morning, which it normally is. And to be honest, I don't eat much during rounds. It's just, when my mind is kind of going, focused on playing the games, I don't get much of an appetite, but that's not good either. Eating at least some healthy snacks like a granola bar or some fruit or maybe some nuts can help you maintain steady energy throughout the day, which is what I try to do whenever I play my games. Now, tip number 2 is probably the most important tip, and that is do not care about rating. My goodness. Okay, this was a big problem that I had when I first played tournaments. Again, my first tournament was in 2019, and it is now 2024, so I've had about 5 years of experience, but it's not easy getting into a game when you're in college and you're seeing these like 8-year-old kids with like ratings of 2200, and you're like, okay, well, I'm guaranteed gonna lose, right? Thinking about your opponent's rating, whether it's higher than yours or lower than yours, does not hurt or help you at all, right? Or sorry, it doesn't help you. It could definitely hurt you. Whether you're playing someone weaker than you, you shouldn't be playing for tricks anyway. And if you're playing someone stronger than you, you still shouldn't be playing for tricks or be playing scared at all. You should pretend that every player you're playing is Magnus Carlsen, that they're gonna play the best, and that you have to beat them. It's as simple as that. If you stressed about, oh, my opponent next round is 1900 or my opponent next round is XYZ, all you're gonna do is get in your head, and if they're lower rated than you, you're probably gonna go for something and play hope chess and just hope that they miss something. And if they're higher rated than you, you're gonna play scared and passive, and eventually that's gonna hurt you. I know a lot of players, when they play someone higher rated, they say, oh, I'll just trade off all the pieces and draw. Well, if you trade off all the pieces, if you're the one taking all the time, every time you take a piece, their piece is gonna come out to develop, so that doesn't help. And these strong players can outplay you in an equal position if they're much stronger than you too. So, that's not really an option. So don't worry about your opponent's rating. Just play your game. Don't change your openings. Don't change anything. Just play your game. Tip number 3 is psychology of the game. Now, my favorite quote from Grandmaster Robert James Fischer, otherwise known as Bobby Fischer, is that I don't believe in psychology, I believe in good moves. And I can't stress this enough. This guy in the 70s was literally facing the whole Soviet regime of chess, and he realized, hey, okay, I don't believe in these little tricks or these gimmicks, just play good moves, because at the end of the day, that's what chess is. It's playing good moves. And a lot of you guys, if you guys are doing your preparation before the tournament, you guys know what good moves look like, right? So psychology, what does that mean as well during a tournament? Well, I know a lot of players will like to lean over the board really close, or maybe they'll stand behind you, or maybe they'll pace back and forth, in front of you to make you nervous. Guys, I don't care if my opponent's sitting in front of me, behind me, sitting on my lap. I don't care. I'm gonna play a good move and they're gonna get cooked. That's the kind of mentality that you have to have. You can't be, worried because while you're making your move, you can feel your opponent staring at you. Bro, you take a picture if you want to. You can stare at me all you want. At the end of the day, you got to make good moves, regardless of whatever psychology. Just worry about the pieces, worry about the squares, and worry about the clock and play your game. Now, nerves can definitely play a factor. I mean, we're not robots, but managing those nerves are something that you're gonna learn to do as you play chess tournaments or as you play, sports or anything competitive in general, especially if you're winning, right? Like it's really nerve-wracking when you're, on 4 out of 4 in a 5-round Swiss. Next game you're also playing someone undefeated and you're like, man, they haven't lost, I haven't lost. What if I mess up? And you get those nerves, but some advice to help with those nerves, guys, is maybe get up from your board and just walk away, right? Maybe while your opponent's thinking, you can stand and go see a friend's board, or maybe you can stand up and just go get some water and just sort of reset your mind. And doing these mini resets really helps refresh you once you're back at the board. Now, I don't recommend always getting up from the board after every single move. Maybe if it helps if you're very nervous, but in general, you should develop a system, and that is tip number 4. Develop a system that you will use at every tournament, and don't be strict on this. Like if you need to adjust the system, that's fine as well, but you should have a system, right? So what does that mean? That means, okay, every time I play a move, I have a checklist I go through, or I have things that I consider. Like for me, even though many moves come intuitively to me, before I even make a move, I still look at my checks, my captures, and my threats, right? You're forcing moves. Even if I think a move is good, or even if one of my moves is already a forcing move, I always go through this little mini checklist, and it takes a few seconds, or maybe if you're a beginner, it might take a little bit more time. But going through these moves before you commit to your move is going to be helpful. If it's your opponent's moves, you shouldn't be really thinking concretely. You should be thinking more creatively. And this is a thing that my friend, who's a national master, check him out on TikTok, Chess Moo. This is something that he actually helped me with. And he's 2300 rated, USCF, and similar as well in FIDE, and like I said, a national master. And his advice is super duper helpful. It's like, hey, if it's your move, you have to think concretely, right? Calculate these deep lines or look at your most forcing moves. But when it's your opponent's move, there's no point in doing that, because if you calculate some long line and you spend all your energy doing that and they make some move you didn't expect, well, now you can throw away all your calculations right into the trash can. So instead, think creatively, right? Like, oh, where do I want my pieces in general? What's my general plan? What are some crazy sacrifices I could consider, at least, just spitballing, in this position? And oftentimes it's going to help you to get a general outsourced view of the board, and then when it's your turn, it narrows in. Outsource, narrow in. So you're constantly seeing the bigger picture and the small details when you need to. Another thing too is that sometimes in chess positions you don't know what to do, and that can cause panic, and that can make you sort of go into the tank and think too long. But another small bit of advice is long think, wrong think. And you see this at the top level, you see this at my level, at the beginner level. It's like when you go into the tank for 30 minutes, probably whatever move you're going to come out with, unless you've been doing some crazy concrete calculation, isn't going to be a good move. In fact, the move that you were going to play in the first place is probably better because your intuition is constantly working and you know in general what the right move is. If you're thinking about playing a knight into the center of the board, and then you're like, nah, let me actually calculate. And then after 30 minutes, you're like, I'm going to put my knight on A1. And trust me, I have this plan that's going to work out in 8 moves. Yeah, you're going to lose the game in 20 more moves, and I guarantee your knight's still going to be on A1. So don't do it. Just take your time, and if you really don't know what to do, improve your worst piece. I mean, this is the simplest advice. If you don't know what to do, find the worst piece on the board. If they're all bad, choose one. If they're all great, make one even better, right? Tip number 5, and this is the most important tip, it's simply to have fun. Now, I know this sounds a bit cliche, but how true it is. I have played so many tournaments, okay, not so many, I have a couple tournaments where I'm like, yeah, I don't really feel like playing, but I already registered, whatever, I'm just gonna go play just cause, and I do terribly, right? If you don't wanna play chess, if you're not having fun, then simply don't play, because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. Even though 5-hour games in a worse position isn't always fun, the main goal of chess is to play, to test out your calculation, to test the new skills you've practiced while playing online, or the new opening you've been learning with your coach, or whatever it is. That's the time to kind of try it out and have fun while you do it. If you're stressed about winning, or stressed about your rating, then you're going to be stressed about the game and you're not going to have fun, right? I teach students who are kids, and I tell all my kids all the time, if you worry about the prizes, you're going to lose. If you worry about playing good chess, on the other hand, the prizes will come. And that's the exact same thing. Now, for them, it's just some trophies, but for us, it's money. And a lot of us sometimes will go to tournaments where we're flying, we're getting hotels, we're in the prize money, at World Open for like 8, 9, 10 grand, and you're playing your game, and this could be a decisive game. Guys, I guarantee you start thinking about the money while you're playing your game, you're gonna play terribly. Just play good chess, and the prizes or the money will come, right? Simple as that. All right, if you guys like this video, please click the like button. If you guys want to see more content like this, please click subscribe. And I actually need your help. Comment down below what type of content you guys want to see. So whether it's more advice, whether it is stories, I have tons of chess stories from the past at going to different tournaments, whether it's even me playing at live tournaments and giving you guys updates or recaps or even maybe in-tournament footage, or if it's me playing Banter Blitz at a local chess club, or whatever you guys want to see, please put it down below, because this is obviously a new channel. I'm not entirely sure the direction I want to go, but what I do know is I want to help you and other players in the community improve at chess, have fun with chess, or just in general, enjoy and be entertained with chess content. So if you guys have any ideas, please comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.